Alright. Today I wanted to talk about my worst summer job ever. And I mean like, the worst summer job ever. And what this job was working at a go-kart track. Right off the bat, that sounds absolutely incredible. So you're probably thinking, James, what are you talking about? That seems like the greatest job ever to exist for a high school student. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right, except it's not. It's terrible. It's terrible. So this job was sort of like the year after I graduated from high school. So it was my first real job out of high school, and I was pumped. I was working at a go-kart track. This go-kart track was pretty old. It was part of this place called Okanagan Amusements. This freaking place that had been around for like 30 years or something like that, and it had like an arcade and like bumper boats and mini golf and this go-kart track, but it was run down. There was like a fire at it when I was a kid. Since then, I can tell that they just did not care about putting money into it. The go-kart track was sort of the first thing that you saw when you came in, and it was sort of the reason why people even came. Everything else was just in addition. And so this go-kart track, it sort of wrapped around. It had like 3 big turns in it, and it was had like one straight stretch, so you could pick up speed around there and you could race your friends. And it was actually really fun, except for the people that worked there. The track was always falling apart. Most go-kart tracks, they have sort of like the tires all in a row and then a metal bar in front of the tires on the inside of the track, so like when a car hits it would sort of bounce off and keep going, and the tires would stay fine. They would stay okay. They wouldn't have to be redone. However, this place didn't have that metal bar, so it was just tires on tires on tires on tires on tires. And so when some 9-year-old kid was racing across this thing, weaving in and out, smashing into people, they'd hit these tires, and they'd hit them hard. These tires would just fly everywhere, and then we had to, as workers, run onto the track, pull all of these tires back, make sure there weren't any on the track, and then like fix all of the tires for the entire track, because if you broke one area, it would break all of it, and so you had to spend hours upon hours pulling all of these tires. I think I lost like 30 pounds that summer, so that was like the one nice benefit. And I always worked the night shift, so I always had to deal with drunk people and people that were just recklessly smashing everything, and I wasn't allowed to leave until all of the tires were pulled. So sometimes I'd be there like an hour after close, just pulling all of these tires, and I got paid like $11 an hour, if that, and so it was definitely not worth it at all. 2 stories really stand out to me about why this job was absolutely terrible. First one is this one time that I got both of my ankles crushed between 2 go-karts. And so we had this sort of like system that worked with all of the engines that was like a shut-off button. But it was absolutely archaic, and was racing up behind me and smashes right into the back of the car that I was just working on. The only problem was that I was still behind that car. Car comes zooming in and smashes my legs in between this 2 cars. The only thing that I can remember after that is somehow I ended up on the other side of cement barriers. I couldn't find like my shoe. My shoe had fallen off or like flown off with the impact of this go-kart. I ended up like spraining both of my ankles and couldn't walk for like 3 days, and had to take like a week and a half off of work. Above all, the absolute worst part about this job was pine cones. The mini golf course that they had was surrounded by these huge pine trees. And I mean like huge, like these 30, 40 foot pine trees. So because of this, every single day there'd be hundreds upon hundreds of pine cones all over the mini golf course. And one of my jobs when there was a downtime was to go in with a garbage bag and pick up every single one of these pine cones by hand. Out of this job that I worked like 35 hours a week, I probably spent 20 or 25 of them picking up pine cones. This made me hate pine cones so much that throughout that summer, I'd have dreams and like nightmares of picking up pine cones. There's never being an end to the pine cones. So that's it. That is my worst summer job, like ever. The worst summer job I've ever had. Well, that's the end of Monday.